What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LOI Fan TV. In today's video we're going to be looking ahead to the Portugal-Ireland game, as Ireland start off a huge week in their World Cup campaign. They do start off, as I said, with a trip to Portugal, a handy easy game to kind of pick up 3 points and really kickstart their World Cup campaign. In today's video we're going to be looking at kind of how Stephen Kenny's going to line up his side to face Portugal. It's going to be a really tough test, as we're all aware. It's something that there's not too much kind of hope coming into this game. Obviously we do have the games against Azerbaijan and Serbia later in the week and next week as well. They're home fixtures, Kenny's first home fixtures in front of a crowd as well, which hopefully will play a big factor. But in today's video I'm going to be looking at the team that I think Kenny will go with, and I'm going to be kind of comparing and contrasting it with the Portugal side that will be more or less the team that will be selected. It's a very strong team, as you can probably guess. But listen, we could kind of go into kind of the squad that Kenny's picked. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be perfectly honest. I'll be the first to say that, but I think at this stage he's picked the squad picked. We need to get behind Kenny, and we need to offer him complete and utter unilateral support. Get behind the team, support the boys, and we'll see if we can get 6-7 points from these few games to kind of, I think we need 6-7 points to have any kind of hope of getting through the group. But realistically it is kind of at this stage probably too far gone after the loss against Luxembourg. As I was saying, this Saturday will be the first game for Kenny in front of the fans, which would be brilliant. It will be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets. Obviously results haven't really gone his way so far. It wouldn't have been the start he would have dreamed of, let's just say that, but I'm hoping that everybody gives him a fantastic reception. If you do want to enjoy the video, please do drop a like on it down below. If you can smash 50 likes, that would be greatly appreciated, and do subscribe as well. We're trying to hit the 3k mark, and we're going to have so much content coming out over the next week or so in terms of Ireland, in terms of the League of Ireland. So yeah, make sure to stick around. It's going to be a lot of good stuff coming up, so it's great to have you watching. I really do appreciate it. Just in terms of, we're going to jump into looking at the side. So the formation that Ireland are going to probably go with is going to be the 5 at the back. I'm 99.9% sure he will utilise that kind of 5 at the back formation against Portugal, and I hope we don't see it against Azerbaijan. Kenny will surely have learned his lesson from the previous World Cup qualifiers, you'd think. We operated really well with the 5 at the back out in Belgrade against Serbia. I thought we played quite well. It was a good performance in that game, but then we stuck with that same formation in the Luxembourg game, and it was a total disaster. Couldn't get going, couldn't get any sort of flow or rhythm going to our play. Really poor performance at home against Luxembourg. Obviously did result in the 1-0 loss. The less said about it, the better, to be honest, at this stage. Just need to move on. And maybe it is just a case of, if a team is stronger than us, we use that 5 at the back formation. I remember playing against a team that we're stronger than, and we're supposed to have more of the ball, operate with that 4 at the back formation, possibly maybe a 4-2-3-1 type thing, which Kenny is fond of using, or whatever the case may be. But listen, I know it is difficult to kind of change up systems especially at an international level, when they kind of you only have a certain amount of gap to work with players, and it's only a week or two to kind of train with them and get them involved in the information. So it's tough to get them involved in kind of one system, let alone 2. It's tough to get that across. But I just think the way we kind of set up against Luxembourg was really bad, and I think we have to go with the 5 at the back to stand any chance of nicking something out in Portugal. But I think we need to revert back to the 4 at the back against Azerbaijan. In terms of this game, obviously just going to focus on the Portugal game for this video mainly. I'm going to pull up the teams that I think will be playing. If you look at it, I think we're going to be concerned with what they have to offer more than what they're not going to be as concerned about what we're kind of threatening them with, let's just say that. In terms of, I'll just run through the Portugal team first. Obviously you have Rui Patricio in goal. He's kind of one of those keepers, you know, from the Premier League. I think he just moved off over to Roma, didn't he? He's a good goalkeeper. That's all you can really say. He's a solid goalkeeper, nothing to be too concerned about. Right back then we have João Cancelo, obviously with Man City, top world class fullback. Ruben Dias, world class centre half. Pepe at the back beside him then. Obviously another one that you'd consider maybe probably past his prime. I think he's 37, 38 now, but still obviously world class, or was a few years ago definitely. Left full, probably, I think they have Rafael Guerreiro on the bench as well, but I think they might go with Nuno Mendes as that thing I fell on TikTok always says Nuno Mendes at left back. Then they kind of probably maybe a 4-2-3-1 type formation. Danilo Pereira and João Moutinho in this kind of holding midfield area. Maybe a Ruben Neves might come in for this game, someone like that possibly as well. In front of them, obviously you're going to have Bruno Fernandes off, and then the front threes is where it gets scary. You're looking at Bernardo Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo and Diogo Jota. So comparing that to our team, it is going to be a frightening 90 minutes, and it's a case of, can we stay in it for long periods? It's going to be a case of our back's going to be against the wall. Can we just kind of ride out their waves of possession, their waves of momentum? Can we ride it out at times? So it's going to be really, really tricky for Ireland to stay in this game. But if you can get to half time 0-0, kind of just work off our set pieces, that's probably going to be the main thing we're going to be working on in terms of how we're going to kind of approach the game, and kind of how we're going to hurt them. It's going to be set pieces and maybe throw-ins, just kind of doing bits and pieces to get into their box and try and just get maybe Shane Duffy up for the odd set piece and stuff. But yeah, in terms of the Ireland team, then you're going to looking at Gavin Bazunu in goal, back three, if you want to call it that, of John Egan, Shane Duffy, I've put Dara O'Shea in. I think he will do that. Obviously I've gone with Coleman and McLean at wing back. The big shock there would maybe be Doherty being dropped, and you'd maybe expect Coleman to go in here instead of O'Shea. I think I prefer to see O'Shea in there. I don't think Doherty's played much for Spurs this season. He was poor last year as well. I don't think he's done it in an Ireland shirt for a little while either, and I think I prefer to have a natural centre half in there. I know Coleman can do it really, really well, but I think the main attraction of the game is going to be Ronaldo, but I think Diogo Jota is nearly their most threatening player, and by far one of their biggest goal threats. Him and Ronaldo are the big goal threats for Portugal. So I think having maybe Dara O'Shea, better defender than Matt Doherty, and more of a natural centre back playing in here, and they can kind of go two up on him. Coleman maybe as well supporting Dara O'Shea there. I think that might work better than Coleman Doherty. Coleman slotting into that kind of unnatural right centre back role, and Doherty playing here as well. I think I'd prefer to have Coleman and O'Shea dealing with Diogo Jota. It'll be interesting to see how Stephen Kenny does approach that though. On the other side as well, then it's kind of a case of Bernardo Silva is a different kind of person to deal with. He's a different type of player to Diogo Jota. He likes to kind of come inside. That's why I've gone with Conor Hourihane here on the left hand side, and I've gone with Jeff Hendrick and Josh Cullen in midfield as well. I think the three of them give us a good balance, and good balance of experience and legs. I know seeing Jeff Hendrick in the side is going to be not very inspiring in that kind of number 10 role, but I think he's in there for his experience. It's not necessarily what I would do, by the way. I'm just saying what I think Kenny will do. I think he will go with a bit of experience in Hourihane and Hendrick. If you're looking at other players in that midfield, in the Ireland squad, you're looking at Jason Malumbi. He hasn't played an awful lot of football this season. I know you could say the same for Hourihane and Hendrick as well, but I think the experience might get them into the side over the likes of a Jason Malumbi. I think Bernardo Silva could move into this area. As you can see, I'm just kind of moving him in here. Might just move Hourihane's name out of the way there ever so slightly. If Bernardo Silva likes to operate in this kind of role here, just inside on the right hand side, so I think having Egan and McLean kind of dropping in, I think maybe McLean will just get selected in terms of that experience that he brings. 80 caps for the international setup. I think maybe he might get selected over Ryan Manning, a little bit less experienced on the international stage. I wouldn't be overly surprised to see Manning get in ahead of McLean now. That's kind of a 50-50, but I think I would go with James McLean over Manning, just to give us that bit more experience. This of course is going to be a crucial battle. I'm going to move Ronaldo up in beside Shane Duffy here. That's going to be a big battle. I think Shane Duffy obviously is going to have is a handful. Ronaldo will be buzzing after his big money move back to Manchester United. He'd be looking, it's his first game since moving, so there'll be a lot of eyes on him. And I think Shane Duffy in that central role is going to be crucial. Obviously it's great to see that he started the season so well. He's been really, really good for Brighton and Hove Albion so far this season, in both boxes as well, which gives us so much. He's probably our biggest goal threat, you'd nearly say. But of course he's going to have a lot to deal with there with Ronaldo. But the thing about Ronaldo is now he's more of a stationary target in the box, which does probably suit Shane Duffy more than maybe a Diogo Jota type player. I think maybe dealing with somebody like a Ronaldo, not that it's going to be easy or anything like that, obviously not. Obviously it's probably the toughest player you could ever play against in the box, but for Shane Duffy, it's the type of player that he's a stationary target now, usually in the box. Ronaldo, in terms of he doesn't drift off, he won't drop deep, so that does kind of play into Duffy's hand a little bit more in terms of he can get up in his face, he can turn into a physical battle, which for 90 minutes Shane Duffy can definitely try his best to hold them out. It's going to be so hard, as you know, and Bernardo and Jota drifting in are going to be dragging Egan and O'Shea out of position, and Duffy might have to go and cover, and that could create space, of course. So it's going to be a case of, can Duffy stay on Ronaldo and he won't get dragged out of position at all, which is much easier said than done, of course, when you have the likes of Bruno Fernandes coming in behind as well. That's where Josh Cullen will come in. I think Josh Cullen and Bruno is going to be a big battle. I think Josh Cullen is going to be the man responsible to keep him quiet. So yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting battle. Looking at areas that we can possibly hurt Portugal is interesting, because it's not as if we are creating lots of chances and scoring lots of goals, really, because we're not. It's going to be really tricky to try and break them down. They're so good all over the park, no real weaknesses. You'd maybe look at the left hand side, Nuno Mendes and Pepe there. Pepe a little bit leggy maybe, that's why maybe Aaron Connolly might go on this side, possibly to give that bit more pace this side. Maybe Ida will go this side up against Ruben Diaz. It's crazy to say Ruben Diaz up against Ida, but I think Connolly might go this side, because his pace could be a problem for Pepe. Mendes a little bit inexperienced there as well. He's only a teenager and he's a very good player, there's no doubt about it. But I think Mendes might drift forward. Connolly could find some space in this area of the park. Get maybe Pepe is so hard to deal with and so hard to get around. But I think that pace could be an area where we could hurt them. Ida, I think he'll opt for Ida over maybe a Shane Long. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shane Long start for his experience, of course, but I think he might opt for Ida, just in terms of he does like him. I think he is probably his star striker, his number one choice moving forward. Adam Ida is 6'2", 6'3". He's kind of quick. He's strong enough as well. I think he is a decent target man for this type of game. It's going to be so difficult for him up against Ruben Diaz, but I think it'd be a challenge that he will relish, and it's going to be Ireland are going to be so up for it. Whether we can get anything from the game is very unlikely. Just looking at this Portugal team, there's no real weaknesses. The only one you can really see is maybe getting in on this right hand side, as I was saying, with Aaron Connolly's pace, but even at that's a kind of a stretch as well. So listen, it's going to be a really difficult game. I just think the bit of experience. I know Jason Malumbi you might be thinking Jason Malumbi dropped this side for Horahan and Hendrick and stuff is a bit of a shock, but I just think he'll go with that little bit of experience. And I think Josh Cullen is undroppable as well. He's played every game for Anderlecht so far this season. He's been really good in an Ireland shirt whenever he's played, so I think Josh Cullen is nailed on. Mulumby's definitely a shout to get into the team, but I just think he hasn't played much this season. I think he will go for the experience on this occasion, but it remains to be seen how the starting 11 he's going to approach it. I do think he will go for something similar to this, and maybe the 5-3-2 formation. I don't think he's going to go for a Jamie McGrath or like an outside shout like that. I think he will stick with the more players that are kind of proven on the international level, if you want to even call them proven. But I think McGrath possibly off the bench as an option could be good. I think Shane Long off the bench could be a good option as well. Troy Parrott maybe as well could be one that could be looked at by Kenny. But yeah, it's going to be a really hard watch for Ireland fans. It's going to be a difficult game to watch, but you have to hope for the best, try and ride it out. We're going to need a little bit of luck. Let's be honest, we're going to need a bit of luck, and that's never ideal when you're going into a game, but it's just the reality of the situation. We're playing against world class players, and we don't really have any world class players ourselves, so it's always going to be the way it's going to be. Big night for Shane Duffy, Darragh O'Shea and Seamus Coleman in particular. I would like to see O'Shea rewarded for his fine start to the season for West Brom, and I don't think Doherty deserves to get into the starting lineup personally. But let me know what you guys think of the lineup I've gone with for Ireland. Is it similar to what you would think and what you think Kenny will do? Because it's not necessarily what I'd do myself, but I think that's the team I think Kenny will go for. Let me know what team you'd go for down in the comments below, and let me know your scoreline predictions. In terms of my scoreline prediction, I did say go over and follow us on Instagram, LOIFanTV. The link is in the description down below. I did go for a 4-1 Portugal win. That was kind of being unbiased, but I'm going to look at this through a positive prism. 1-1. Come on, you boys in green, let's go. I hope you did enjoy the video, guys. As I said, please do drop a like on it. I hope we can hit around the 50 likes mark, and I'm going to have so much more content coming over the next week and a half for Ireland and all things Ireland. So if you did enjoy the video, do drop a like, and please do subscribe with notifications on so you never ever miss an upload. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in a bit.